What is real? Is it the visible or is it the invisible? How can we scientifically transform things from the invisible to the visible and therefore manifest our dreams in this 3D reality? Wallace D. Wattles, in his book The Science of Getting Rich, told this famous motto: "There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and which in its original state permeates, penetrates, and fills the inner spaces of the universe." Do you want to see the proof that this really works? Then this episode is for you. Today's episode is inspired from Neville Goddard's lecture named The Sower, dated 5th of February 1965, and from my own personal experience on how thoughts can indeed be turned into things. Neville's lecture, as you may have guessed from its name, is itself inspired from the Gospels, where Jesus taught to his disciples the meaning of the parable of the sower, where he explained how one can turn thoughts into things. Growing up as a Christian, I knew this parable very well, though I do not understand how come I didn't grasp the true meaning of it at that time. I think that's the only moment in the Bible where Jesus actually explained his parables, and the church strongly uses this interpretation to interpret the whole Gospels. I do not reject the church's interpretation, though my understanding of this parable after studying metaphysics for almost 3 years now has dramatically changed my understanding. And I hope that this episode will help you in your mental diets so that you understand how you already transform your thoughts into things. I'm going to make some strong reference to the Bible, and I really hope that this doesn't discourage you from following this episode till the end. If you aren't a Christian but have some notion of the law of assumption, you know how Neville Goddard interpreted the Bible and that it is a manifestation manual. If you're a Christian, well, I hope that this episode will further enhance your faith in God. In any case, please don't get offended with what will follow. The parable, as per Mark chapter 4, verses 3 through 9, in the New Standard Version, starts like this. "Listen, a sower went out to sow, and as he sowed, some seed fell on the path, and the birds came and ate it up. Other seed fell on rocky ground, and it did not have much soil, and it sprang up quickly, since it had no depth of soil. And when the sun rose, it was scorched, and since it had no root, it withered away. Other seed fell among thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked it, and it yielded no grain. Other seed fell into good soil, and brought forth grain, growing up and increasing and yielding 30 and 60 and 100-fold. Then Jesus explained that the seed was a word. But what is that word? I was once a really fervent Christian and was during a short time in a non-denominational church, and I had once a strong debate with someone about what was the meaning of a word or the Gospels. For me, the word was simply the Word of God, or was a reference to the Bible codes in red, that is, when Jesus was speaking. For the person I was debating with, it was whatever the pastor said. I do not want to shock anyone, but I was strongly opposed to pastors who read bits and pieces of the Bible to support their sermon of the day. Today, I think that anyone is free to do whatever they want. If my current self asked my former self of around 5 years back what I understood by the Word, I would say that it is Jesus, and that Jesus is the Word made flesh. I would support my argument by quoting the book of John in the verse, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." But my current self would now challenge my former self in telling that this doesn't explain what is meant by the Word. Remember the previous episode where Neville Goddard defined that God is our own wonderful human imagination. Dr. Joseph Murphy would say that God is the subconscious mind, which is common to all men. In my episode about vibration and frequency, you saw that you could actually feel when you are in harmony with your subconscious mind. You can feel it through your heart and know when you are aligned with it through your emotions. My current self would say that the word well is a word we speak, is a word which proves that we are conscious, which differentiates us from the inanimate. And the word is first formulated through our thoughts, illustrated by mental pictures, through our own wonderful human imagination, and is expressed through our voice or through our writing. That is a word which was with God when it was at an imaginary state, and which is God. The word can originate from either of the two parts of the mind. Yes, two parts, and by that, imagine a computer who forgot that it had a connection with the internet, or your smartphone outside, or the network. It would work, but would somehow be limited. When it connects to the network, it becomes 1,000-fold more powerful. This is why the word generated by the conscious mind would be considered as something generated by a device that is offline. Imagine asking for location services to a GPS device that isn't connected to the web to obtain traffic information and has outdated maps. That is the word of man, the word of the conscious mind. This word, being disconnected from the infinite mind, can become fearful, as it is alone can lead to the numerous issues that the church calls sin or evil. But remember, the word is God, and God is our own wonderful human imagination. The one who remembers this fact and who trusts the infinite mind becomes an unstoppable and powerful manifester. Okay, I could feel this deep inside, but my wish is still at the fourth state, and I cannot see it in my 3D reality. So what should I do? This is because you didn't persist in the feeling. Yes, I know you might have heard this too many times, and I will explain to you what is really meant by persisting in the feeling, and why, even though you have been applying all manifestation methods and techniques, you are still struggling to make your wish come true. When you download a document, let us say a zip file, even though you arrive at 99%, as long as it's not at 100%, you will not be able to open the document, right? Well, with manifesting, it's a bit easier than that. But you really need to be above 50%. As Neville says, even if your thought is false, it will have no choice than to manifest into your reality, and when that thought becomes dominant. All these techniques do not work by themselves, but are tools that help your thought to become the dominant one in your mind. Imagine that you want to carry water to water a very specific plant in your garden. However, your hose has multiple holes, and though the water at the tap is currently at full pressure, there isn't a single drop coming at the other side of the hose, and the result is that your plant is getting dry. So after doing all the efforts, you realize that you already have a smart and modern aerial irrigation system that is able to procure unlimited water, covering absolutely all the plants in your garden. The holes in the hose correspond to all of the ideas that you currently have in your mind, and as long as you are unable to silence them, you will not be able to focus all your energy on that thought, as particles of light concentrate into a powerful laser which would immediately transform your thought into the material world. The powerful irrigation system covering all the plants in the garden is a solution that is accessible through your subconscious mind. Know that it is like a direct connection to God and believe that it will work. This is the law of belief. Start believing in yourself. I see too many people telling that they have I don't know which illness preventing them from visualizing or applying manifestation techniques, and that this is because of that their wish has still not materialized. You just need to believe that you are a powerful manifester, and believe me, it's true. As you'll see by affirming to you things like, I am a powerful manifester, all my wishes come true, or my life is getting better and better and better, and you will see change by repeating these to yourself with the appropriate positive emotion first thing you wake up, then during the day and the afternoon, and of course just before getting to bed. Till now, you have been like an octopus with uncontrollable tentacles behind you sticking to things with or without your consent. You can use the power of your wonderful human imagination to instantly get rid of those tentacles and only focus on your dream. Let us end this episode by a quote from Joseph Murphy's book, Your Infinite Power to Be Rich. Repeat this to yourself. This is a very powerful affirmation. While you start feeling positive emotion, repeat it at least 4 times daily, but only do it when you feel positive and ensure to do it just before going to bed. That's when the magic happens, and believe me, you will see tangible changes in your life. Please leave a comment in the comment section below that you will do this challenge. So here it goes. God's wisdom, power, and creative energies are extended and expressed through me, just as a branch of a tree is an extension of the life of the tree. I am a son of God, and I inherit all the rights, privileges, and blessings of God's riches. I center my mind on God and sense my oneness with this invisible presence. I believe in infinite substance and infinite supply. I believe and mentally accept now that the infinite is showering me with its riches, bringing harmony, inspiration, blessings, and abundance into my life. I am one with my Father. His creative power is mine. His wisdom, strength, intelligence, and understanding are also my wisdom, strength, intelligence, and understanding. Infinite intelligence directs me in all my ways, and His spirit of opulence is my abundance, success, and well-being. I open my mind and my heart to the riches of the infinite, and prosperity follows all my efforts. God and man are one. My Father and I are one. The infinite had to think of a sequoia tree to bring it into being, and the thought proceeded to produce a tree. Even the centuries may have been required to bring it into completion. The infinite thinker, when he thought of a sequoia tree, did not cause the instant formation of a full-grown tree, but he started in motion all the forces necessary to produce the tree through the subjective wisdom operating through the seed. Likewise, when you desire to be free from all the financial problems and all sense of pecuniary embarrassment, you must realize that you are a thinker and that you can originate ideas, images, plans, and purposes. Furthermore, become aware that all structures, inventions, and all things fashioned by your hands first existed in your mind as thought images. You cannot create anything in this world until you have thought that something into existence.